नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिने इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात् देशतारि। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमन हरि गोविंद जय जय राधा रमन हरि गोविंद जय जय राधा रमन हरि गोविंद जय जय हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Giridhari Radha Giridhari Radhe Jaya Radha Giridhari Radha Giridhari Radhe Jaya Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Radhe Jaya Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Radhe Jaya Radha Rasa Bihari Radha Rasa Bihari Radhe Jaya Radha Rasa Bihari Radha Rasa Bihari Radhe Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Radhe Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Radhe Jaya Radha Kunja Bihari Radha Kunja Bihari Radhe Jaya Radha Kunja Bihari Radha Kunja Bihari Radhe Jaya Radha Kunja Bihari Radha Kunja Bihari Radhe Radha Vakya Bihari Radha Vakya Bihari Radhe Jaya Radha Vakya Bihari Radha Vakya Bihari Radhe Jai Jagannath Jai Jagannath Jai Baladeva Jai Subhadra Jai Jagannath Jai Jagannath Jai Baladeva Jai Subhadra Jagannath Swami Nayana Pathagami Nayana Pathagami Bhavatu Jagannath Swami Nayana Pathagami Nayana Pathagami Bhavatu Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol बोलो श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी विहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यशोदनंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यमुनातीरवनचारी यमुनातीरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय 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 नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीम् उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकीम्. Welcome everyone in Bhagavad Gita class. So we have finished chapter 8. Now we are at chapter 9. So we'll start from chapter 9. We'll recite the verses, then Mangala Charan, and then we'll discuss Prabhupada's report. Chapter 9, the most confidential knowledge. 9.1. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Idam tu te guhyatamam pravakshami anasuyave jnanam vijnana sahitam yajagyatva mokshase subhat. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Arjuna, because you are never envious of me, I shall impart to you this most confidential knowledge and realization, knowing which you shall be relieved of the miseries of material existence. 9.2. Raj Vidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam Tatyakshava Agamam Dharmyam susukham kartum avyayam. This knowledge is the king of education, the most secret of all secrets. It is the purest knowledge, and because it gives direct perception of the self by realization, it is the perfection of religion. It is everlasting and it is joyfully performed. 9.3. अश्रद्धानः पुरुषा धर्मस्यास्य परन्तप अप्राप्य माम निवर्तन्ते मृत्यु संसारवर्तमनि. Those who are not faithful in this devotional service cannot attain me, O conqueror of enemies. Therefore, they return to the path of birth and death in this material world. 9.4. Maya tatam idam sarvam jagat avyaktamurtina matasthani sarva bhutani nachaham teshva avasthitah. By me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. 9.5. न च मतस्थानि भूतानि पश्य मे योगम ऐश्वरम भूतभृन्न च भूतस्थो मम आत्मा bhutavāvanah. And yet everything that is created does not rest in me. Behold my mystic opulence, although I am the maintainer of all living entities, and although I am everywhere, I am not a part of this cosmic manifestation, for myself is the very source of creation. 9.6. Yatha sthito nityam vayuh sarvatra go mahan tatha sarvani bhutani matasthani upadharaya. Understand that as the mighty wind blowing everywhere rests always in the sky, all created being rest in me. 9.7. Sarvabhutani kaunteya prakritim yanti mamikam kalpakshay punastani kalpada visrijamyaham. O son of Kunti, at the end of the millennium, all material manifestations enter into my nature, and at the beginning of another millennium, by my potency, I create them again. 9.8. Prakritim swam avastabhya visrijami punah punah bhutagramam imam krishnam avasam prakriter vasat. The whole cosmic order is under me. Under my will, it is automatically manifested again and again, and under my will, it is annihilated at the end. 9.9. न च मामतानि कर्माणि निबध्नन्ति धनञ्जय उदासीनवदासीनं सक्तं तेषु कर्मसु. O Dhananjaya, all this work cannot bind me. I am ever detached from all these material activities, seated as though neutral. 9.10. Maya dakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam hetuna nena kaunteya jagad viparivartate. This material nature, which is one of my energies, is working under my direction, O son of Kunti, producing all moving and non-moving beings. Under its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Dhyananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namah. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutapadakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin iti namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarine. हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण। Welcome back everyone in Bhagavad Gita class. Now, so we have finished chapter number 8. We will start chapter number 9. We'll revise in short what we have seen in the previous chapters, what we have discussed so far. So, synopsis of chapter 8, that we have seen Ananya Bhakti, supremacy of Bhakti. So, Ananya Bhakti, chapter number 8 discuss about Ananya Bhakti. So, Krishna has explained what is Ananya Bhakti. What is unalloyed? Ananya means unalloyed devotee, surpasses the path of light and darkness. Now, Krishna will explain how to become such a devotee. So, in chapter number 8, we have seen what is the how Ananya Bhakti can surpass light and darkness, surpasses the light and darkness. Now, in this chapter number 9, Krishna will explain how one can achieve, obtain this Ananya Bhakti. And chapter number also talks about supremacy of Bhakti. Chapter 8 concludes that Bhakti is the best form of yoga. So we have Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. So out of Jnana Yoga and Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga is best. So chapter number 9 supplies the specific knowledge required for performing that most confidential knowledge. So chapter number 8 says that what is Ananya Bhakti, and chapter number 9 explains, in Krishna explains in chapter number 9 how to obtain this Ananya Bhakti. If you see, chapter number 7 and chapter 9 are identical. Chapter number 7 and 9 are virtually identical. They are not equally identical, but they are virtually identical. Chapter number 8 can be seen as a tangent in the conversation between Krishna and Arjuna, clearing up some important points before continuing on the same line. So we'll see what is the difference in chapter number 7 and 9. Chapter number 9, the most confidential knowledge, talks about hearing about Krishna, talks about Aishwarya Gyan, talks about non-worshippers and worshippers, talks about Krishna is the supreme object of worship, talks about the glories of directly worshipping Krishna. So we have so many things different in chapter number 9 compared to chapter number 7. So talks about hearing about Krishna. What is the qualification, disqualification? Explained clearly in this chapter. Also, it talks about Aishwar Gyan. Krishna is Achintya Bheda Bhed. Krishna is Achintya. No one can understand. Krishna is transcendental from anyone. Krishna's position is transcendental. We cannot understand. Even topmost yogis are not able to understand the position of Krishna. So Krishna is achintya bheda bhed relationship with the material world. Although Krishna has created everything, spiritual energy as well as material energy, but Krishna is away from all these things. Krishna is above all. Krishna is a urdhvasam. No one is above or equal to Krishna. Chapter number 9 also talks about worshippers and non-worshippers. What is the fate of worshippers and what is the fate of non-worshippers? Krishna is the ultimate worshipable object. The glories of directly worshipping Krishna. What is the glories? If you worship directly Krishna, don't go any demigods, any other deities, any other demigods. Don't worship. Worship only the object of worshipper. And the object of worshipper is Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. So we should only worship Sri Krishna. We should pay obeisances to Sri Krishna. We should pay the obeisances to object of worship. An object of worship is Krishna. Krishna is the supreme. Krishna is the supreme controller. Krishna possesses all opulences. Chapter number 9 talks about their, we have divided in 5 sections, 9.1 to 3, 4 to 10, 11 to 15, 16 to 25, 26 to 34. 1 to 3 talks about hearing about Krishna. Who can hear about Krishna? What is the qualification and what is disqualifications? It is clearly mentioned that this is the qualification to hear about Krishna, and except this, all others are disqualified. 9.4 to 10 talks about Aishwarya Gyan. What is the Aishwarya Gyan about Krishna? Krishna's achintya bheda bhed relationship with the material world. That is 9.4 and 10. 4 to 10. 11 to 15 talks about worshippers and non-worshippers. Who are the worshippers and who are the non-worshippers? And who can worship directly to Krishna? 16 to 25 talks about Krishna is the supreme object of worship. So we should always worship supreme object only. Instead of going here and there, wandering here and there, seeking the truth. Krishna is the object of truth. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. So in chapter section number D, sloka number 16 to 25 talks about Krishna is the supreme object of worship. 26 to 34 talks about the glory of directly worshiping Krishna. So there Krishna has glorified who worship Krishna directly. Why to waste time going here and there? Instead of that, worship Krishna directly. That is better. So we'll discuss 9.1 to 3, hearing about Krishna, what are the qualifications and disqualifications. So 1, 2, 3 talks about non-enviousness, allows one to hear confidential knowledge about Krishna, and faithless forces one to birth and death. So those who are faithless, that is their disqualification. They are disqualified because they have enviousness about Krishna. So those who are envious, they are not allowed to hear. They will not dare to enter where Krishna Katha is going on. And those who are faithful, they will get opportunity to hear about Krishna. They can associate with devotees. They can attain Krishna consciousness. They can associate with Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. They can read scriptures. They can hear about Krishna. So this is non-enviousness is the qualification for them. They are clearly qualified to hear about Krishna. They are opportune to hear about Krishna, and they will get many opportunities. They will go to temple, they will do seva, they will be associated with devotees, they will get chance to hear about Krishna. That is the opportunity, that is the qualification because of which they hear about Krishna. So we'll see text number 9.1. Lord Krishna imparts most confidential knowledge and realization to Arjuna. Who is Arjuna? Arjuna is the devotee as well as friend of Krishna. So Krishna, Arjuna is qualified. That's why Krishna got Arjuna to explain, to tell Bhagavad Gita, and that is the reason that we are hearing about Bhagavad Gita today. Because we need, or Krishna need, one who is friend as well as devotee, one who is faithful, non-enviousness. So this is the qualification to hear about Bhagavad Gita, to hear directly from Krishna. Okay, so if you want to hear, if you want to follow, if you want to be qualified to know about Bhagavad Gita, we have to follow into the footsteps of Arjuna. So 9.1, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Idam tu te guhyatamam pravakshami anasuyave jnanam vijnana sahitam yajagyatva mokshase subha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Arjuna, because you are never envious of me, I shall impart to you this most confidential knowledge and realization, knowing which you shall be relieved of the miseries of material existence. Krishna's first point is, oh Arjuna, you are faithful towards me. You are non-envious to me. So I will choose best to impart knowledge, best knowledge to you, best realization to you, so that you can be liberated from this material world. So Lord Krishna imparts most confidential knowledge and realization to Arjuna. So what is the most confidential knowledge? Knowing about Krishna, knowledge about Krishna, knowing the supreme truth. So what is the qualification to receive? Anasuyave, free from envy. Krishna cannot impart knowledge to envious person. So that is their disqualified. They are disqualified. Those who are envious to Krishna. And those who are non-envious to Krishna, they are qualified to know about Bhagavad Gita, that too directly from Krishna. So what is the means to receive? Proper hearing. As we know that in the Navadha Bhakti, in the 9 processes of devotional service, hearing is the most important factor and topmost, number 1 factor. So if you want to be qualified, you should be non-envious and you should hear about Krishna. So what are the benefits? Relief from miseries of material existence. So if you hear Bhagavad Gita directly from Krishna or from the representative of Krishna, you shall be relieved from all material existence. That is the output. What is the input? Input is Bhagavad Gita. Input is hearing Bhagavad Gita, and output is relieving from all the miseries of this material existence. So Raj Vidya. What is Raj Vidya? The king of education. What is the king of education? Knowing about Krishna. Knowing about Krishna is the most confidential knowledge. And Lord Krishna has chosen here Arjuna. Why Arjuna? Because Arjuna is qualified. Why Arjuna is qualified? Because Arjuna has non-enviousness towards Krishna. Okay, that is the 9.1. So Lord Krishna imparts most confidential knowledge and realization to Arjuna. Why? Why? Chapter 9 is the most confidential knowledge. So confidential, chapter number 2 and 3. What is there in confidential in chapter number 2 and 3? Knowledge of spirit, soul and body useful for liberation. So Prabhupada said that, say, I am not this body, I am soul. So once upon a time, Srila Prabhupada was talking to someone, and he said that, who are you? Your body or soul? So the person said, I am body. No. Then Prabhupada told him that you are not this body, you are soul. So chapter number 2 and 3 talks about that you are not this body, you are this soul. So knowledge about spirit, soul, body, that is useful for liberation. And what is more confidential? What is confidential? What is more confidential? And what is most confidential? So more confidential, we have seen in chapter number 2 and 3, that is knowledge about spirit and soul, body. And chapter number 7 and 8, knowledge which brings about enlightenment about Krishna consciousness, Supreme Lord and his energies. Okay, so we have seen that how yogis and mystic yogis, they have knowledge, they can leave their body as per their wish. Okay, and we have also seen the devotees are beyond this. They can leave body anytime, day or night, darkness or light, they will attain to Golok Vrindavan Dham. That is a more confidential knowledge we have seen in chapter number 7 and 8. Now, what is the most confidential knowledge? Chapter number 9 talks about, because it deals with pure, unalloyed devotion and delineates the glories of the Lord. So here we'll see the pure devotional service. Okay, so pure devotional service has non-enviousness towards Krishna, and non-enviousness is the qualification to hear about Krishna. So this is the most confidential knowledge. Knowing about Krishna, hearing about Krishna is the most confidential knowledge. Why? Because Krishna is supreme truth. Krishna is supreme absolute personality of Godhead. So what is the qualification? Non-enviousness, anasuyave, is the qualification to hear properly. Envy is the root of misinterpretation. So those who are envious, they always misinterpret Bhagavad Gita, the statement given by Krishna. And the entire Bhagavad Gita has come from Sri Mukha of Krishna, from the mouth of Krishna. We are directly hearing from Krishna. If you are reading Bhagavad Gita, we are directly hearing it from Krishna. So we should be thankful to Arjuna that because of Arjuna, we are reading Bhagavad Gita today. So useless commentary of high academic scholars gives inaccurate commentaries because they are envious. There are many commentaries on Bhagavad Gita. So what they have done? They are not as it is. Srila Prabhupada has given us Bhagavad Gita as it is. But in other Bhagavad Gita, they are full of their own ideas, own examples, own experience and all. But they have forgotten the words of Bhagavad Gita, the words of Krishna, the words of Supreme Truth. Srila Prabhupada has presented in front of us Bhagavad Gita as it is. It is directly which has come from Krishna's mouth. The one who criticizes the character of Krishna without knowing him is foolish person. So we should always hear about Krishna from authoritative person, not from anyone, not from those who are academically highly qualified. They are PhDs and all. So if he's a PhD, maybe knowing about his own area, but not about Krishna. So Krishna can be known only from disciplic succession, from parampara. And parampara is what? Guru Shishya parampara. So Shishya can learn only from Guru, proper Guru. So you have to find out from where you can get the right knowledge. So you have to associate with devotees. You have to hear from acharyas, from the representative of Krishna. So, and those who are envious, those who criticize, this is the disqualification. They are disqualified from hearing about Krishna. So recommendation is that you should always hear about Krishna from the right source of knowledge. So Srila Prabhupada has given us right source, which has directly come from Krishna. Krishna to Brahma, Brahma to Narada, and all these gurus is the parampara from till our Srila Prabhupada. Okay, so there are so many commentaries. Idam jnanam, one's heart becomes cleansed of material contamination if hears from right source. Idam jnanam. One understands the signs of Krishna and it elevates to spiritual consciousness. One understands spiritual activities simply knowing that living entity is not material, is not sufficient. One must understand difference between activities of the body and the spiritual activities. One should not attach with body. One should attach with soul. And what is the path of soul? Meeting to super soul. For that, Krishna has given Varnashram Dharma. We have discussed in chapter number 8. Varnashram Dharma. Varna Ashram. 4 Varna and 4 Ashram. What are the 4 Varna? Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. And for what are the 4 ashramas? Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasi. So 4 plus 4, there are 8 Varnashram Dharma. So Krishna has given a proper Varnashram Dharma by following which we can be liberated from this miseries, misery word, material word. Okay, so there are so many commentaries available on Bhagavad Gita. Please be away from that. Avoid such commentaries. Number 1, only possible by a devotee. Number 2, bona fide commentary can be given by only a bona fide devotee. Bona fide devotee means the one who belongs to parampara, the one who belongs to disciplic succession. Anyone cannot write about Krishna. The one who belongs to proper parampara, Guru Shishya parampara, can only impart right source of knowledge. That is the right source of knowledge. You should try to attach and get the knowledge. Like honeybee extract the material from flower, honeybee. Okay, so we have to become like honeybee. So we have to attach, we have to get a flower, we have to attach to a right source and extract the rasas, the right source of knowledge. So what is the 9 process of devotional service? Sri Prahlada Uvacha Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Pada Sevanam Archanam Vandanam Dashyam Sakhyam Atmanivedanam. Okay, so these are the 9 processes of devotional service. So we may not be able to follow all 9 processes at one time, but at least we can try to follow the at least one. Kirtanam, Shravanam, at least we can do Shravanam. No endeavor is required for the Shravanam. You have to just hear. Open your eyes and hear. Open your ears and hear. If you hear about Krishna, Krishna enters through the ear into your heart. So whatever 9 processes you are performing through your ear, through your eyes, through your mouth, through your hand, through your leg, through your any limb, Krishna will enter through that limb into your heart and will purify your heart. Wherever Krishna is there, the demon in the form of doubt won't be there. Forget about that. Okay. So this is the 9.1 talks about most confidential knowledge from the right source, that is Guru Shishya Parampara. So as we know that 9 process of devotional service, hearing. Hearing is the first. Sukdev Goswami. So hearing, Example of hearing is Parikshit Maharaj. Chanting or glorifying Sukdev Goswami. Okay. Shravanam, Kirtanam. So Kirtanam is by Sukdev Goswami. Shravanam is by Parikshit Maharaj. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam. Remembering. Prahlad Maharaj always remembering Krishna. Hari will come, Hari will come, Hari will come. Hari, 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 Hari. Say Hari, Hari. He always used to say Hari, Hari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Ram. So by chanting this Mahamantra, we can remember Krishna. We can perform remembering process by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Then comes Pada Sevanam. There are thousands, hundreds, thousands, lakhs of Lakshmis are serving Krishna, Krishna's lotus feet. So Lakshmi Devi is the example of Pada Sevanam. Then comes Archanam, Maharaj Prithu, deity worship. So Maharaj Prithu is the example of deity worship. We always serve Krishna. Serving the deity worship, cleaning, bathing, with the phalam, puspam, toyam. Then comes Vandanam, Akrur Maharaj, praying, always praying, oh Krishna, I want to become Trina, I want to become grass into the Vrindavan. Okay, he wants to become a grass, a Trina. He wants to take birth in the form of Trid in Vrindavan. So that is praying. Example of praying is Akrur Maharaj. Then comes Dasyam, Hanumanji, becoming servant. So Hanumanji is a servant of Supreme Lord Ram. He is always ready to serve Ram. So Lord Ram asked, oh Hanumanji, go to Lanka and find out the information about Sita. So Hanumanji went and got the information about Sita from Lanka. And whatever he did, whatever sin he did, that is not touched by him. Because he followed the order of Supreme Lord Ram. Lord Ram is Krishna only. Okay, Lord Ram is Supreme Lord, Krishna. Okay, so Hanumanji is the best example of Dasyam. He is a Das. Then comes Arjuna, friendship, Sakhyam. Arjuna is a friend and devotee of Krishna. Arjuna is a Sakha of Sri Krishna. So that is example of Sakhyam. Then Atmanivedanam, completely surrender. Bali Maharaj, completely surrender unto the lotus feet of Supreme Lord. So Vamandev, it is one form of Krishna. So Krishna, Vamandev was Krishna only. It was Krishna himself. So he went to Bali Maharaj in the form of Vamandev and asked for 3 pag bhumi. So in first and second pag, he took the entire Brahman universe. Now Vamandev asked for 3rd pag, for 3rd feet, where to put. Bali Maharaj surrendered unto the lotus feet of Krishna and asked Vamandev, oh Vamandev, please keep your 3rd feet, 3rd pag unto my head. The Lord Vamandev put his feet on the head of Bali Maharaj, and Bali Maharaj was directly taken to Patal Lok. So Bali Maharaj went to Patal Lok and he is still today serving Krishna in Patal Lok. And he is next Indra. So next Indra is Bali Maharaj. Okay, so now he is in Patal Lok. He is serving Krishna in Patal Lok. And Krishna has become his doorkeeper. He has become his Dwarpal. So Krishna only protecting Bali Maharaj. Krishna is standing 24 hours, 365 days throughout the life and serving his devotees. So Krishna is serving. Krishna is eager to serve his devotees. So Krishna is very, very wonderful. Krishna possesses all the opulences. Devotee wants to serve Krishna and Krishna wants to serve devotee. Okay? So someone asked to Srila Prabhupada, what is the Krishna is doing in Vrindavan Golok Dham? So Srila Prabhupada answered that he is serving devotees. He is serving devotees. So devotees are interested in serving Krishna and Krishna is interested only in serving devotee. Devotee doesn't want anything other than Krishna and Krishna doesn't want anything other than devotee. So in this way, 9 processes of bhakti we have seen. We have seen Parikshit Maharaj, Sukdev Goswami, Prahlad Maharaj, Lakshmi Devi, Prithu Maharaj, Akrur ji, Hanuman ji, Arjun and Bali Maharaj. And out of these 9 processes, Ambarish Maharaj was performing all the 9 devotional service. So Lord Krishna imparts most confidential knowledge and realization to Arjuna. So we have seen the 9 processes. So what is the potent messages? Messages of Supreme Lord are full of potencies. They are not contaminated, they are full of potencies. So how to realize Lord's help, example, and that potency. So how to realize these potencies? By discussion among devotees, not by association of mental speculators and scholars, because it is realized knowledge. Okay, so how to realize about Krishna? You have to associate with Guru, Sadhu and Sat, where you will get the right source of knowledge. So right source of knowledge is very, very important. Please take a note of it. And Lord's help. If you discuss about devotee, it means what? If you discuss about Krishna, it means what? You are remembering Krishna. Lord, help us to understand. He sees the mentality and sincerity of a particular living entity who is engaged in Krishna consciousness and gives him intelligence to understand. So Krishna is there for dadami buddhi yogam tam. So whoever endeavors to know about Krishna, Krishna will help him to understand about him. So it is Krishna's mercy that you can know about Krishna. So if you are not qualified means you are not faithful about Krishna. You can never understand about Krishna. You will not be eligible to discuss about Krishna. You cannot take name of Krishna. You will be duly disqualified and thrown out of the devotee group. And if you are endeavoring, Krishna will avail the devotee group, devotee association. You will be able to go to temple. You will hear Krishna Katha. You will hear about Krishna Leela. So Krishna makes all arrangement. It is the Krishna's mercy. And if it is required, Krishna will come himself. Or Krishna will send his representative, his pratinidhi. An example, Krishna is telling Arjuna more confidential matters to encourage Arjuna in higher and higher elevation in his potent service. So Krishna will avail all the services so that you can progress in bhakti. Then comes potency. Potent messages of Supreme Lord are full of potencies. They are not contaminated. They are supreme truth. They belong to supreme truth. That is the supreme truth. And what are the benefits? 2 benefits of hearing about Krishna. Freedom from material miseries. Raj Vidya, Raj Vidya. The one who is situated in most confidential knowledge is naturally transcendental and has no material pangs. So Krishna is transcendental, and the one who knows about Krishna also becomes transcendental. Forget about all material pangs, material things, contamination. He is more away from all these things. So although Krishna has created all this material world, but he is different. So Krishna is transcendental. And if you are in this material world, in this material pangs of nature, if you know about Krishna, if you try to know about Krishna, if you hear about Krishna, if you understand about Krishna, you also become transcendental. Being in this material world, you become transcendental. Okay, so what are the advantages? What are the benefits? Yeah, yes, Hare. Even in that conditional state, one can consider to be liberated if one is sincerely engaged in trying to render loving devotional service. So Srila Rupa Goswami has mentioned in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Iha Yasya Hare. In this material world, if you try to know about Krishna, if you try to know about Supreme Truth, you also become transcendental. Bhagavad Gita chapter 10 talks about anyone engaged thus is a liberated person. So if you are engaged in devotional service, you are a liberated person. If you chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, you are in Samadhi. If you get a chance of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, you are progressing in the devotional service. So this is the two benefits, and the first thing is the potent messages. What is potent message? So knowing about Krishna, or Krishna possesses all potencies. Then comes 9.2. Further glorification of the most confidential knowledge. So what is the most confidential knowledge? So whatever Krishna is telling is the most confidential knowledge. Only Arjuna, only like a person, Arjuna can know about Krishna. Why? Because he has faithfulness towards Krishna. He has non-enviousness. So Raj Vidya, Rajaguhyam. So Raj Vidya is king of all education, all knowledge. Raj Guhyam is most confidential knowledge. Okay, we'll see these two. 9.2. Raj Vidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam Pratyakshava Agamam Dharmyam Susukham Karatum Avyayam. Raj Vidya, king of all education, all knowledge. Rajaguhyam, most confidential knowledge. Pavitram Idam Uttamam. It is all potent. It is all pavitra. Pratyakshava agamam dharmyam. You can realize, by knowing this knowledge, you can realize Krishna. That's why it is most confidential. Susukham. It gives susukham. Karatum avyayam. It is avyayam. It is avinashi. It is never. It is akshaya. So this knowledge is the king of education, Raj Vidya, the most secret of all secrets, Raj Guhyam. It is the purest knowledge, Pavitram, Idam Uttamam, and because it gives direct perception of the self-realization, it is the perfection of religion. Pratyakshava agamam dharmyam, because it gives the direct perception of realization. So it is the perfect religion. Susukham kartum avyayam. It is everlasting and it is joyfully performed. Susukham, joyfully performed. Okay, so many things in this sloka, Krishna has given knowledge to Arjuna. So further glorification of the most confidential knowledge. So most confidential knowledge can only be given by Krishna and can only be received by the devotee and friend of Krishna. So if you want to know about the confidential knowledge, which has directly come from Krishna, you have to become like Arjuna. Okay, so Raj Vidya, king of all education, knowledge, because it is the essence of all doctrines and philosophies explained before. There are so many philosophies, doctrines are available, but it is above all, which is directly from Krishna. It is above all. We know that Krishna is a urdhvasam. No one is above or equal to Krishna. No one is above or equal to Krishna. So it is the knowledge which is given by Krishna is also a urdhvasam. Whatever is available today is nothing. Why? Because it is the most confidential knowledge coming from Krishna. So different philosophers, Gautama, Kanad, Kapila, Yajnavalakya, Sandilya, Vaishnavara, and finally there is Vyasadeva, the author of Vedanta Sutra. So Lord Vyasadeva has given commentaries on Vedanta Sutra that is known as Srimad Bhagavatam. In Srimad Bhagavatam we have 18,000 sloka. One should read Srimad Bhagavatam daily. One should read Bhagavad Gita daily. At least these two scriptures one should read carefully. One sloka at least one day. In the morning, in the evening, whenever you get time. If you're not getting time in the morning, you can read anytime. But read one sloka every day. So Raj Guhyam, most confidential knowledge. Raj Vidya, Raj Guhyam. So both, at the both the places we have Raj. Raj means what? Raja, king. Vidya, king of Vidya and king of secret. We say that this is secret, that is secret, this is confidential, that is confidential. So it is Raj Guhyam. It is the secret of all secrets. Most confidential, you can say, in one word. So this talks about the eternal activities of the soul and thus gives positive information. So it has no contamination. Contamination can never touch to this knowledge. Why? Because this is most confidential knowledge. So whatever Krishna tells becomes most confidential knowledge. How it can be contaminated, which is directly coming from Krishna. So just confidential knowledge explains spirit soul as imperishable and immutable, but does not give positive information about the soul. So lack of complete knowledge leads to misconception of impersonalism or voidism. So in short, impersonalists cannot give confidential knowledge. If they say that this is the confidential knowledge, it means it is the most contaminated knowledge. Soul is always active. Soul cannot be inactive. Modern education system deals only with external knowledge, bodily platform. They tell us what to wear, how to wear, what to use to become beautiful, handsome, by wearing cloth, garment. By putting on garment, one can become handsome, beautiful. By applying some particular cosmetics, some can become beautiful. That is all contaminated. That all knowledge is contaminated. We have so many engineering and all so many science behind this. They are working how to become handsome, how to become beautiful, how to stop hair fall. All this knowledge, all this rubbish knowledge. So this is not confidential. They say that this is confidential knowledge. How can this become confidential? This is the most contaminated knowledge. Okay, so soul is always active. So you have to engage soul to the right source. If you engage, if you attach soul to the right source, to the super soul, it can get the confidential knowledge. So Raj Vidya and Raj Vidya. Okay, next we'll see next time. Any question you can ask? श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय, शिला प्रभुपाद की जय, निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि। No questions, so we'll stop.